This just in, the body of a transgender woman has been found in the alley on Orange Blossom Trail in Church Street.
Lord God, no, no! People with mental illness, various racial and ethnic groups, and gay and lesbian individuals. Gay individuals' civil rights versus civil rights, and same-gender marriages.
Listen, I know that saying he is not gay friendly. He's gonna lose it.
Hello and welcome to Affirming Love Podcast, where we are acknowledging, announcing, confirming, encouraging, and upholding love for LGBTQ plus individuals and allies. Today we are acknowledging someone who is a devoted servant leader, woman of faith, mother and grandmother, affectionately known as GP. Her life is a testimony of perseverance, sacrifice, and God's sustaining power. Whether ministering from the pulpit, counseling those in need, or simply being a source of love and wisdom, she continues to shine as a beacon of hope, faith, and empowerment. Help me welcome today and acknowledge Alexis Hairston. Hey there.
How you doing? How you doing?
All right. How are you today?
I'm awesome.
Awesome. Welcome to Affirming Love Podcast. Announce yourself. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about you and your story.
Well, I'm Alexis Hairston, affectionately known as GP lately, as well as Lex, simply just Lex. It's an honor to be here. I'm just me. I'm just authentic. Transparency always builds trust. Born and raised in the 216 Cleveland, Ohio.
All right.
I'm an avid favorite, loyal Browns fan.
And that you are. You've been in ministry for some time. So tell us what it was like for you coming out of the closet.
It was interesting because at a certain point, I felt like I was two people.
Okay.
And the reason why I say I'm two people, because outside of the church, I'm Lex and I could be free and I could do, but it was still like somebody was over my shoulder because the people of the church are outside too. And so they would see me and they'll see me, quote unquote, acting a certain type of way, but I didn't act like that in church.
Okay.
So it was like I was two people I had to be, and then I could almost let my hair down, living like a night and day in one day every day. It was kind of rough.
So how do you identify today, and what does that identity mean to you?
I identify as simply Lex, because Lex is, you're going to see me today, tomorrow, tonight. I'm the same person now. Mm-hmm. And I've truly evolved and accepted that I can just be me. And if anybody can't accept it or does not understand me, then they really don't need to be in my circle, because I'm not hard to understand. You have to understand and accept the reality of I'm not going to change. I'm here. Yeah, I have a collar, but I'm still the same. The collar reminds me who I represent, but also the authenticity of me is who Jesus was, because at the end of the day, Jesus was a servant leader. And so he had to have that, he had to have the reality and not the title, longevity of it. So that's why I am me. I identify as me.
All right. So what was it like when you came out to your family? Tell me what that story was like.
I came out in stages. So, you have this group of people. They, that they accept you for whatever, you goofy, whatever. So I told them, and they were like, okay, we really knew it, but thank you for confirming it. Thank you.
Okay.
And then you had the matriarchs and the patriarchs who really don't understand, and they're just black and white, so they don't understand it. So you had to tiptoe. So how I came out with them was I let the people, the rumor reel come out.
Oh, okay.
I let the rumors hit them, and I gotta let the patriarchs God rest their soul. She's not gay. She has a child. She just needs to find a husband. And that's it. She's a single mother. Yep, absolutely. And then you have like my parents, you know, my mom. The ironic thing about her was she knew, but she had a conversation with me. And then her best friend, which I call my aunt, would put it in her ear, like, hey, you got 2 sons, you really got 3. But, you know, but we love Lex, you know, and she put it in my mom's head in the conversation to make her think, like, at the end of the day, I can't not accept my child. And so my aunt will remind her, like, yeah, even though Lex is this, or I'm telling you Lex is this, based off a conversation and relationship that Lex and I have, at the end of the day, that is your child. And you love her regardless. And you're gonna love her. And if anybody says something, you're gonna go upside their head.
So what was your mom's initial reaction? Like, I mean, because I'm hearing that your auntie did, you know, a lot of talking to make sure that she kind of kept her.
So the conversation with my aunt and her, my mom didn't understand it. She was hurt. She was, you know, just confused and mixed emotion, angry, upset, and then basically was like, yeah, I gotta love her, but why? How could this be? But my mom never really approached me until one day. One day, I was currently, this was before I got married, and I was dating my now ex-wife, and we were dating, and my mom loved her, my family loved her. And one day, my mom was in rehab. She had a knee replacement. She was doing physical therapy. And one day, out of the blue, it still cracks me up. One day, out of the blue, I went to visit her after work, and hey, how you doing? This and that. And I was leaving, going home because I had to get some rest to go to work. And so my mom just was like, hey, Lex, are you good? I'm like, yes. And at the time, the gay games were here in Cleveland. And my mom was like, hey, Lex, question. What's going on, Mom? What's up? Are you going to go to the gay games? I'm walking. And so by the time the gay games came out,
she asked you about the gay games.
I had crossed the threshold, and I stopped in the hallway like, why would she ask me that? And I had to backpedal back in the room, and I said, "How, Mom? Where did that come? You know, around your people, Mom. What are you talking about?" She was like, "Look, Lex."
Around your people.
Her way of letting me know, acknowledging me. She said, look, Lex, as long as she treats you right, respects you, I'm okay. I love you regardless. And I was like, so you knew? She said, yeah. I seen you do things that just look really awkward. And so I just wanted you to just come. And I was like, all right, Mom. All right. I said, I'm not going to go to the gay games because I have to go to work. But I appreciate you, you know, thank you. And she was like, yeah. She was like, next time, don't take so long to tell me. She said, I love you, baby girl. And I just walked out the room. And at the time, I called her. I said, you never believe this conversation. She was like, oh my God, what? And I was like, when you talked to her, did she say anything to you? She said, no, not never.
Wow.
So it was like one of those, what's understood never need to be explained, but I have to confirm that I understand you and it's okay.
Okay.
Ever since then, my mom was just, now she did ask me like, about that, the one friend that you had, was that? And I was like, no, Mom, that was never. You sure? Yeah, she was really nice. And then,
you start going down the line. Well, was it her?
Right. I'm glad you didn't have her because I didn't really like her.
She started thinking back to the girl she brought around the house. Right. So funny. She's trying to figure it out now. That is hilarious.
And then she was like, that's why your kids, did you call your kids? And then you said, I mean, we've accepted, they always call me Granny.
Yeah, Mom, that's it.
And then she always called me Mom.
You got it. Hello.
So yeah, so we laughed about that all the way up until like maybe a couple of days before she passed. She would always like, hey,
It's too funny. And then I know you have siblings. What was it like with your siblings?
So my siblings are very much a lot of years younger than me. So I always tried to be in protective mode with them. So I didn't ever want them to be me expose them. I wanted them to have a free spirit and a free thought and just, I'm just sister. I'm Stephanie, it's Alexis, I'm Lex, that's my big sister. And so I just let them be. But eventually my, God rest his soul, my little inquisitive little brother, he used to just ask, he was like, yo, and he, if you ever knew him, he was like, hey, that girl that you was with, what about her? She had a nice butt. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, chill out. Hey, why can't I say that? I mean, I'm a guy. I'm a boy. And I'm like, yeah, like, let her know that I said she had a nice butt. I'm like, not at all. And then eventually he caught on to was like, I'm not supposed to say that your friend has a nice butt. That's your friend, right? I'm like, yeah. And then we just had a talk one day and he was just like, I love you regardless. He was like, just don't bring no ugly girls around. And then he told my baby brother.
Okay.
Baby brother was like, I understand it. He was like, I mean, if you got a smile on your face, you're good. And so if you don't have a smile on your face, then we got a problem.
Nice.
As they got older and grown, they realized and understood everything. And they was like, you my sister. Like, I love you. You didn't ever tell me nothing. And if, I might not have a brother-in-law, but I have a sister, and like then Kenyan, I have a real girl sister. And so she can help me with this.
A girl.
Yeah. And like I said, I was married, so my ex-wife treated them like, that was her brothers. And she treated them and they treated her like that was their big sister. And it was just cool, like then as far as my family, people who didn't understand it was rude, I checked them and then I just didn't talk to them. Period. I'm not going to continue and allow disrespect. So they got it. And they really wanted to, love me and talk to me as they claim. They already knew the rules. So that was what that was.
Tell me a challenging time that you
do. I mean, in the church, absolutely. In the church that I grew up in, was born and raised in, they were very much traditional. And even now they're traditional, but they've been forced to accept society and the world in order to keep going, if you follow what I'm going with. So when I was younger and those things, it was an era where you kept things quiet, and if it wasn't spoken, it was taboo, and you keep it. But then if it was presented or outed, as we're gonna use outed, then you got punished. You got sat down. You got forced to conform, and if you didn't conform, then it was you're against God. Or you're not really for God, and you're an impersonator of God. And so if you didn't conform, such as I don't like skirts, I don't like dresses.
Right.
When before I even knew who I was, I didn't really particularly like dresses and skirts because I never felt comfortable, because I was always afraid that my dress would fall up, like Marilyn Monroe. I saw that was gonna happen. So I never liked it, or I would throw shorts on. I went to Catholic school. I had shorts on. So whether if I was going to be gay or straight, I don't think if I was straight, I don't think I would be the woman to wear dresses and skirts. My grandmother was very traditional. Men dress as men, women dress as women. So if I wore pants to church back then, it was a blasphemy. Oh, you're an abomination.
Wow.
And so if you're gonna do anything in the church as far as leadership, well, you have to wear this and you have to wear. Well, I ain't wearing.
Wow.
And because I didn't conform or adhere to their regulations, then it was, you're not really for God.
Wow.
The calling is not, you're just saying you have a calling, because if you truly had a calling, God truly called you, then, doing what we're telling you to do would be no issue.
Wow.
And then that's when I got deeper in my study, because I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be life.
So how did you overcome that? Because I know you like to jump sharp. So, I'm just wondering what that moment was, that very first time that you jumped sharp on them. And how did you overcome that with the church?
So when I just decided to just be me and just show it, they put me in the back. I couldn't do nothing. I was basically sat down without saying that I was sat down.
Wow.
Everything that I played, I did praise and worship, I did scriptures, I did, everything. Mm-hmm. I was sure like the best.
Thank you for joining Affirming Love Podcast.
And so at first I just, I'm
gonna
take my stance. It is. I'm gonna take my medicine
here on
up.
YouTube.
And
make sure you like,
while,
share, subscribe, and comment. You can find my book, Just Be You, Baby, Guiding You Against All Odds, I felt like on it was Amazon. Something wrong. Make sure that you go over there and find out more depths of my coming out story.
I was in His image, and God knew me
back
before
to our show.
I even touched my mother's womb. And so He knew that I was going to be like this. Why would He allow someone or a group of people to treat me and they say that they're a child of God?
We're going to take a break and we will be right back.
Yes. And so then technically those are supposed to be my brothers and sisters. And so why would He allow my brothers and sisters to treat me like this?
Oh,
so there's something wrong with me. I'm deformed. So I started slowly backing away. Then I just stopped coming.
Okay.
And then I would stay. My grandmother was like, "You're going to go to church?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to go." You make her late and she leaves me on purpose. I do something for her to leave me. And so it just got like that. Then I went away to school.
Okay.
And when I went away to school, shout out to Chi-Town, I went away to school and I met a pastor. He's passed away now, but I met a pastor that he saw my anointing.
Okay.
Overseer Shanova Elston Sr. But he didn't see the presentation.
Okay.
He saw the inner me. He didn't see the outer me. He respected it. Now, he did do his pastoral obligation, like, what God says in the biblical, but he didn't beat me over the head.
Okay.
And so I met him, but when I went out to school, my family introduced me to another pastor, and I went there, Bishop James Taylor. I went there, it was cool. They accepted and they didn't accept it. I didn't feel totally comfortable, but then I met Overseer Elston.
Okay.
And his family like loved on me, brought me in. The church brought me in.
Wow.
Name of the ministry was Saved by Grace.
Wow.
He raised me up. He let me, be me and everything. He was like, "Nah, daughter, we having something special. I'm just going to let you know. I know we ain't going to get it, but we just put a little earring on." And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing it." He was like, "All right." He was like, "If they say something, I got you." And it was the first time that somebody that I was seen for who I was and not who they wanted me to be.
All right.
And when someone said something, first time that somebody had my back, truly, and didn't care what it would do to him.
Wow.
And like, even to this day, like I said, he's passed away, but his children, those are my siblings, I reached out. We had a reunion. Their parents is crazy, but not their parents, but even his family still. Granddaughter.
What a blessing.
Niece, and they still love me for who I am. They never changed me. So
Awesome.
I was like, that's so that's the real God. And then I started thinking like the God that I was raised with, that wasn't real. And then I had to realize also that people are where they're at for why they're at. And I use the example of at holiday meals, there's a ham. And every time you have a pot and you have a ham. But every time you get this ham, you cut the two ends off the end of the ham. Nobody knows why, but everybody's doing it. Until one day you ask and you say, why are we cutting the ends of this ham? This looks like a pretty decent piece of meat. Why are we cutting? I don't know. Grandmama did it. Everybody did it. This. And so when you go through the end of the story and then you get to the bottom of it, the original reason why the two ends of the ham was cut is because it could fit in the pot that was at the time.
Wow.
So now as the years go on, we're cutting this ham, but we got this big old pot.
Lord have mercy.
And the ends don't have to be cut because with or without the ends, the ham still fits in the pot.
Wow.
But because we're so indoctrinated, ingrained, and brainwashed and soldier, because that's all we knew. And so then that's where the scripture study to show thyself approved. And to your understanding, not grandmama and everybody else's understanding, because where they got you to was to their understanding from what they were taught. And then it goes on. And that's why we have so much miscommunication. And so that's when I realized that the God I serve and the God that I know is who I study and who he talks to me, not through me to somebody else. And so that's when I had to get that coming to Jesus moment for real.
So would you say that was your confirmation? Was that your confirming moment that who you are was who God created you to be, and who you are? You had that moment of now people are embracing who you are, accepting who you are. And so now this is a confirmation. I am being who God created me to be.
Yes. And once I finally got that understanding, that confirmation inside me, because it was always told to me, but I never believed it because of what had happened. And so once I truly believed it, then I had to resurface and reinvent myself to gird up my confidence, because every time I moved, I would take myself back because of what had happened. And so, I had to understand and realize that when someone says God is love, you got to look at the intention of that phrase rather than the manipulation that comes off of those lips.
Okay. That was a good one. So do you feel like the people that were around you at the time helped you to heal through those struggles that you were going through? And what was that moment? Because again, like I said, I know you like to jump sharp. Do you remember the first time that you put on a suit and was in front of folks and what that was like? Because I remember my moment. You got to tell me.
So my moment when I finally put on my suit, it was with my cousin Mel. She's in the community. And she was like, come on, cuz, put your city slickers on, let's go. And when I first put on the suit, I'm like, and looked at me, hold on. I would throw my jacket in the bag. And she's like, man, get your jacket. Like, why is you leaving your jacket? I'm like, they're going to be okay with it. They ain't going to say, man, forget them. And then when I was constantly making sure everything was good and, remembering how my grandfather used to wear a suit, and how he shined his shoes and make sure those points. I remember how my mom used to say where she would look at bullet points for men and stuff like that. So I'm, doing it. And I felt so awkward that my back ended up hurting. Like I was wearing heels the whole time because I was comfortable because of the material. Uncomfortable because I was a new person.
Okay.
And it was like the first day of school, like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And my back hurt so much because I was trying to make sure everything was right. And then that one day I was just like, you know what? Get it.
So what would you say to someone who is maybe afraid to come out, who is battling with that spirituality thing or the church or, ministry or what the church is saying? Because you definitely have gone through that situation. Somebody who's battling that knows that or feels like, they have that connection with God, but because of the way the church is, they're afraid to either come out or they're afraid to walk in ministry. What would you say to encourage our viewers today?
I will first say that what you're feeling is not just a feeling. What you're feeling is the purpose and destiny that God has deposited into you. And I would also say to that individual that you're not a mistake. There's a reason and a purpose that God has you in your life. It has you on this earth. From the path from when you were created up until now, your purpose is there. Now you have to, the test and the testimony, you have to understand and realize and accept you. Transparency builds trust. So you have to first trust yourself. And then once you trust yourself, you have to be able to allow folks to trust you. And your story is just not a story. It's a path. It's a testimony. It's a monumental path to an example, a leading example, a parable. You're a living parable. And that don't be afraid, because what you feel, you don't realize that the person next to you or down the street or wherever you're encountered, they're feeling the same thing. And they're questioning what you have already confirmed. And what's already been confirmed.
Okay. And what would you say to maybe that family or that parent that's struggling with their child?
It's enough hate outside. It's enough hate beaten down in society outside. And for your child or your family member to feel that on the inside, where you're supposed to feel love, you're supposed to be connected by blood, and to feel the same thing on the outside that they feel on the inside. At the end of the day, blood doesn't change anything. That's still your family. That's still your child. That's still your brother, your cousin, your uncle, whatever. That's still your family, regardless of who they're loving. At the end of the day, you're not laying down, you're not loving, you're not hugging with that individual that they're with. But what it is you're still connected to the person that you're hating.
Oh, the blood.
Take what I do, because there's things that you possibly do that no one likes, but they still love you.
So is there anything that you would have done differently?
Had I known what I know now and found out later, I would have told my mom a long time ago. And we could have related more, where I was afraid that she wouldn't love me.
Okay.
And so I wish that I had that more, but perfect timing was timing, because from that day forth, it was just like we never missed a beat. Like we always knew. And so it just lined up. But yeah, that I probably would have, had I known what I known about my mom and figured out about my mom, I would have come out earlier, because I would have had protection.
Okay. All right. Because had you known, you would have felt like you were already protected. Okay. All right. That's what's up. Yeah. So tell us, Lex, what are some of the things that you do to uphold love for yourself and others in your community?
Self-affirmations. I had to learn that. And once I learned it and understand it, I affirm myself before I affirm anybody else.
Come on, somebody.
So, and if I can affirm myself or you can affirm yourself, it's not hard. It's not rocket science to affirm somebody else. Because if you believe it and then you're encouraging somebody, it's more encouraging, it's more believable, it's more accepting. I take leisure. I take that time. It's okay to be separate. Because sometimes you got to separate, because when you're separating, you're elevating. Be it physical, mentally, or spiritually, you're elevating. You got to separate in order to accept the elevation and to truly understand it. So being separate, there's nothing wrong with it. I go to the water. I actually live by the water, so it's nothing for me to go out the back door and just sit at the dock and reflect.
Cast the cares.
Yep. You reflect, and sometimes you gotta let it go. And sometimes it's hard, but you gotta sometimes physically throw it and watch the ripples go. And as the ripples go, it's taking it away.
Nice.
So that's what I do. Like, and I bring anybody to the water.
Okay.
Old folks, take me to the water. That's another meaning when I'm taking you to the water. The old folks say to be baptized. I'm not taking you to be baptized. I'm taking you to the water to release.
Okay.
Re-energize, revitalize.
Cast them cares.
Right. Take the cares to the ripples, because sometimes that ripple is a person that has, beat you down, and you ain't there yet to, to really face it. So if you see it going away, you got the encouragement to go. And so, hey, and sometimes that water catch your tears.
Okay.
So
say cast your cares on the water and he'll give you rest.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yes, you got to put it out there so you can release.
Let that shit go. Release them. So you got to do that.
Break them chains, baby. You got to break them chains. Ain't nothing like the water. Ain't nothing like sitting on the water, man, casting the cares. I know when I, were ordained my deacons, and that was something that my pastor did with me that I really appreciated. That ordination Sunday, oh my goodness, it was always fire in that way of just going out by that water before the ceremony and casting anything out there. So that is one of my favorite pastimes of upholding myself as well. So I can relate to that. I think I want to talk about that grandbaby. I think I want to talk about that Twinkie, honey.
Ooh, my honey bun.
I know.
That's my, that's first of all, she's really starting to act like my mother, and they never met, like physically. Wow. It's so funny, like her facial expressions, no, but she has really given me the recharge, the reset.
Okay.
And that kid, man, the reset that with everything that has gone on and everything, like she gave that purpose. And also not only just the purpose of life, but she gives me the understanding, the purpose of what to stand for, what to stand on, and gives me something that knows that if I stand on this, I'm standing on this for her. And she has something to be proud of. And even though she might grow up to be taller than me, she'll still look up to me and know that GP stood on business. GP met something. GP, the impact that she put on my life, she put on other lives, and she made them feel just as special as she makes me feel.
Yes, because honey, she is my Twinkie. She is my Twinkie born on November the 8th. Yes, my Scorpio baby.
Here we go. I was born on the 8th too.
You were born on A8.
But she makes me continue to fight, continue to purpose, and to continue positivity. Because yes, I'm a GP, and no, I'm not trying to be, nobody but myself. That's my GP. Yes, my GP is same gender loving. But whoever my GP is with, my GP loves me. And I love GP. I respect GP. And you gonna love and respect GP because GP has done nothing but love and respect you. And I really want her, and I'm praying that she will always have an open mind. And that's what I did with my children. You know, even though I knew who I was, I never presented it. Not that I was hiding it. I never presented to force an agenda on my children.
Okay.
So yeah, I had friends, you know, I had whatever, but I never forced it on them. When they, you know, the conversation came about and they realized or they found out or whatever, we had the conversation, it was confirmed, that was that. But as they got older, I still gave them enough that they had the option to be who they wanted to be.
Yes.
You know, well, my daughter wanted to, you know, venture to the other side, as, you know, folks say. Okay, you venture, but I gave the education. Make sure it's something that you want to do, not something that you're trying to do. Because when you're trying to do this just because it's a fad, you have other people's feelings at stake because they're in it. And if you're trying, you know, you don't want any false feelings. So make sure it's something that you want to do. Hey, but at the end of the day, I'm going to love you, protect you. They better treat you right or they're going to have to answer to me.
Oh, my.
And, right. And at the end of the day, as long as you're happy.
That's what's up. That's what it should be about. And we always gonna support them. I don't know whether it's us being LGBTQ plus or not, being in ministry or not, we are going to love. We are going to support them regardless to whatever the case is. So, you know, we're gonna love our babies.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, if the world don't have to love you. I gotta love you because it's a commandment that God gave you to me.
Yes.
And so I have to love you, but how can someone not love someone that comes from it?
Oh my. Yeah, that's a whole nother story and a whole nother
Right.
That's a whole nother big topic too to go over. And it is amazing. We ain't gonna get into that because we can get real deep.
Right
there. You know me and you can talk all night. We'll be at it. But that is the beauty of it all, is, you know, being who you are so that everybody around you will accept who you are. Just be you. Well, all right, Lex, tell us how our listeners can follow your work and learn more about you.
On Facebook, I am Alexis Hairston, #BookAlex. Yep. I'll be looking for a book drop.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, it'll be posted on my page, Alexis Hairston.
Nice. That's what's up. All right, Lex, well, thank you so much for joining Affirming Love Podcast today. It has been a pleasure. If you are a couple who are not a part of any particular church organization and would like to have your special day done your special way and need someone to officiate, I am here. You can reach me at Laverne at Creative and Spiritual Resolutions. All right, y'all have a wonderful night, and thanks again. See you next time. All right, everyone, that concludes our episode for today. We hope you enjoyed it. Tune in with us weekly on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Remember to follow, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you for tuning in to Affirming Love Podcast.